Welcome back to a Timey-Wimey pod, where each week we dive into the timey-wimey world of Doctor Who. I'm Rebecca,
I'm Haley.
and this week we are discussing Series 5, Episode 5, Flesh and Stone. Haley, how are you?
I am good. I'm feeling very Christmassy. Which by the way, Merry Christmas, everyone. It's happy
Merry
holidays,
Christmas! Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa.
all the things. 'Tis the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good. I am really happy to be here. I'm so excited to talk about Flesh and Stone today. There's lots to discuss in this episode, so glad we're back. How are you doing?
I am doing so good. I got some good news today, and I've been riding that high since this afternoon. Um, and yeah, I'm also, enjoying the Christmas spirit. I have my little TARDIS ornament sitting on my desk.
Mine is on my
Oh.
tree.
Yeah, I don't have a tree, so I just keep it on my desk next to this. I have a little like Christmas village house windmill mill thing. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's a little Christmas village house thingy. So I have it there so I can pretend that the doctor's visiting my Christmas village house or something. All right, are we ready for some fantastic facts?
Yes, we are.
Alrighty, so this episode aired May 1st, 2010. It was written by the GOAT himself, Stephen Moffat, and directed by Adam Smith. And I think this is his last episode. So he did 11th Hour
Okay.
and this two-parter. And what a bang.
What a banger to peace out on.
Yeah. Imagine your legacy being the 11th Hour and this.
That would be truly an insane legacy. Insane.
Yeah. Legacy. Planting
Legacy.
seeds in the garden you never get to see. Okay. So the name of this episode actually came from Stephen Moffat's son. He was trying to find title ideas, and he was gonna do angel something, and his son was like, that's boring, we already know the angels are there. And so then they settled on Flesh and Stone, which his son was right. It's a good name.
It is a good name. I will be completely honest with you. I always get this name mixed up with the Rebel Flesh. They're two very different two-parters, and I know the difference in my mind, but when I'm thinking of the title, there is sometimes I'm like, the Rebel Flesh, and it's like, no, that's in Series 6.
See, I always call this the Flesh and Stone two-parter. I said this last week, but
so
I forget
funny.
the Time of Angels title. So to me, this is always the Flesh and Stone two-parter.
That's so funny because I'm the opposite. I'm always like, this is the Time of Angels two-parter.
That's so funny. Well, between the two of us, we'll never forget these episodes.
Exactly.
Works out. Speaking of his son, Joshua, the idea for the crack in the wall was also inspired by a similar crack that was on a wall by his son's bed that also looked like a smile, which I thought was fun. I love how
that is fun.
You can tell Stephen, he always gets inspiration from real life things. Like the angels is a great example of that, which I think is what makes him such a good I don't want to say horror because Doctor Who isn't horror, but what makes him a good horror writer and able to write scary things, because real life is scary.
Real life is scary.
Yeah. This episode was also inspired by him thinking about what would be the worst possible case scenario to be in with the Weeping Angels. And of course, being blind is kind of that situation if you can't blink. So that's kind of what inspired Amy's journey in this episode. All right, so tell me, what are your general thoughts on this second part of this two-parter?
Okay. I think it's important that I make a distinction right here that until we get to talking about the ending scene of this episode, yes. I'm not talking about that ending scene when I'm talking about the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that here. There is a distinction. When I'm talking about Flesh and Stone at any point, I'm not considering that scene at all.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I really love the second part. I know there are some people out there who are like, this is kind of another, I'm going to butcher it again. Today,
Deus
the
Ex
trope that,
Machina?
thank you, because of like the crack in time, kind of taking the angels and taking away the problem. But I have never had a problem with that. I think the way it's written is really good.
Yeah.
This episode keeps me on my toes. Like, I am locked in the whole episode. There is so much to it, and I really love it. I love all the moments that we get to with Eleven and Amy and River. It's all really, really good. But what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, pretty similar. Thank you for that disclaimer because, yeah, I really forget about that scene at the end.
Me
When I'm
too.
thinking about this episode, I think about this being like the great Angel two-parter and River's back and it's so cool. And then, oh yeah, there's that scene at the end, but like, let's
Mm-hmm.
not talk about that. But we will talk about it. So besides that, I do really enjoy the second parter, or this second part. If last week was a lot of walking and talking, this episode is bang, 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 bang. Like, there is
Mm-hmm.
so much happening. I watched it twice this week, and each time it just flew by. There's so much happening. Lots of action. I love the twist that comes with the crack.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And yeah, I don't really have a problem with what they do with the angels, but we'll get more into it. So this episode starts pretty much right where we left off. They are
Yeah.
like upside down, question mark, because gravity.
Yeah. So I had to like rewind this part like 3 times because I realized I've never like clocked it. I've always just gone along with, yeah, the gravity switches. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Still a little confused about it, but 11 does say he shot the gravity ball, so it like reversed the gravity or
Right.
mavity, I should say.
No. This is pre-Mavity times.
No, I know. I just wanted to get your reaction to me saying that.
It's kind of funny how much people hate Mavity. Like, how are you
I
going to be mad
know.
at Mavity?
No, I agree. Honestly, mavity, I don't care. It's kind of a nothing burger to me. It's
Yeah.
silly, and that's it.
Exactly.
And nothing will beat the TikTok sound of the Daleks singing Defying Mavity.
Oh my gosh. Have I seen this? I need to go
Yes,
find
you
it.
must definitely have seen
I
this.
definitely have, and I've definitely forgotten about it. And I will be looking that up after.
Yes, it brings me happiness on hard days. But yeah, so the gravity reverses, and so they literally just jumped and they were good, I guess.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so now the angels, they're like starting to look more like angels because they're getting more power from the radiation from the ship. I love when they get into the ship and they are like trying to get the doors open, so they have to turn off the lights. And so all the clerics like just have to keep firing their guns as the only source of light. I think that was really interesting, and the shots with the angels, it looks really
so
spooky. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I also love like the music and just like the sound that's used throughout this episode, but especially in the probably like the first like 10 minutes where they're getting into the ship and like running away from the angels, and like you said, like all the clerics are shooting to get some source of light. All of it works together, and it's just so spooky, so freaky. The angels are even freakier this episode than they were in part 1.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as they're like becoming angels again and getting more powerful. The angels are like crazy powerful, and every time I kind of forget about it, but they're so fast, they're strong, they'll send you back in time or snap your neck.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And then they can just like be in your eye. Okay.
Yeah, like that. No, thank you. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I'd rather just take me out of my misery. If I'm gonna come up with a villain, just take me out of my misery, exterminate me at that point.
honestly. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want to stick around and run from the angels. Can you imagine Amy Pond post this episode trying to sleep and then just not being able to because she just has all this lasting, lingering trauma of the angels being after her?
Yeah, and this is interesting to me because we do find out in a future episode that I think she was kind of shaken by this whole experience, and she does have this like lingering
Oh,
fear and
that's
trauma of the
right.
angels, which I think is really interesting.
It is really interesting for many, many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I
There,
love. Oh,
no, you go.
okay. I was gonna say I love the moment where Father Octavian is telling River, Dr. Song, I've lost good clerics today. Do you trust this man? And she's like, I absolutely trust him. And then Octavian is like, he's not some kind of madman then. And she just says it the exact same. I absolutely trust him.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. Perfect response from River. She's
mm-hmm.
like, I trust him. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Father Octavian, he switches up very quickly in this episode. Last week he
Yeah.
was like, we can't let the doctor know who you are, what you did, because then he won't help us. And now he's like, well, if anyone else dies, I'm gonna tell him.
I'm like,
Okay.
dang. And then later in this episode, River is joking and she's like, I've got a thing for a man in uniform. And as soon as Father Octavian hears that, he is pissed immediately and is like, actually, doctor, she was in prison for killing a man who a lot of people loved. You can't trust her. And I'm like, dang,
I
sir.
know. He's like, out of nowhere, he's like, I can't let them think that. He's so offended by just the notion that something would be going on between him and
Yeah.
River. He's like, I'm stopping this immediately. And I think my favorite part about that scene is the doctor's face. It looks so smug. He's just smiling. He gives River like a little side eye. He's not even mad. He's not even mad about it. Yeah.
He's not. And I don't know, because I was going to say, would it have been a thing that, please excuse me for not knowing a ton. But maybe he was more of because he was a father, he kind of had the priestly thing where he wouldn't be in any romantic relationships. But then I was like, no, because when we're in Boom, there's people who had relationships. So
oh yeah, you're right. That's funny because I was thinking about that watching this today. I was like, can he even have relationships? But yeah, you're right. The Boom people, but he's a bishop, so
that is true. So it might be
yeah.
that he doesn't.
Yeah. Also, maybe they've evolved. I mean, now obviously
True.
the church has changed a lot. So who knows
That
what the
is
rules
true.
are?
Who knows? It's just very interesting, how oppressed he was.
No,
about
it's
that.
very funny how he immediately is like,
No.
you know what? No. Oh, okay. So then it's around this well, jumping back to when they're on the ship. It's around this point where Amy starts her subtle, not so subtle countdown.
Yes, Amy begins her countdown, and then they end up in the center of the ship. And as she's starting this countdown, Angel Bob comes up over the little communicator device, and he what he says is really chilling. Honestly, I was like, I forgot how freaky the angels are, because Angel Bob is like, the angels are feasting, sir. Soon we'll be able to absorb enough power to consume this vessel, this world, and all the stars and worlds beyond. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, now I kind of get this week why 11 didn't just leave the angel in the hull of the ship and just go off, because I feel like this wasn't a shock to him. He knew this was the angel's end goal.
Right. Yeah. That it's they're too powerful, even just one. You can't just leave it on its own to just have free reign.
Exactly. And then, Amy continues counting down, and 11 is like, okay, what is going on? Like, what is this countdown? And Angel Bob says, we shall take her. We'll take all of you. We shall have dominion over all time and space. And this line leads me into a slight conspiracy theory that other people have had. It has not originated with me, but I don't know how I feel about it. But there is this conspiracy theory that the Weeping Angels are like Time Lords, like fallen Time Lords, basically.
Yeah, I think we talked about this actually in End of Time Part 2, because
we might have
like something about the Weeping Angels. And yeah, it's an interesting thought. I don't really think, I feel like everything we've gotten since has kind of disproven that, but it is an interesting idea.
Agree.
So I like it, but it's not personally my personal headcanon or theory, but it's a really interesting idea to think about, and I could see them being somehow connected, or maybe they once were connected or related, or maybe a Time Lord like went off and methane. I don't know. I could see there being connections between the two. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like, I'm not all in on this theory, but I could definitely, like, it's a good theory. Like, yeah. It does make sense. Like, it's not crazy to me. And I really thought about that, because when Angel Bob says, we shall have dominion over all time and space, I really was thinking about the End of Time Part 2 when Rassilon is like, we shall become angels or whatever it is. And yeah, but
I think it's the scene where they're like going to Earth, and then like the doctor's mom or mysterious woman or whatever is there, and she's covering her face like the angels, and it's like, oh, they voted against us doing whatever we're doing in this episode. And they're gonna watch over with shame like the Weeping Angels of old. It's something along those lines.
Yeah, it is. So very interesting theory. That is really interesting to think about. What's not interesting, it's actually insanely creepy and so freaky, and I actually hate this. We hear the angels laughing.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that.
Like, excuse me, what do you mean? Why was this included?
Yeah. And it just sounds like they're screaming, and then Angel Bob tells us they are laughing. And then the doctor's like, okay, I'm missing something. And I love the shot. He stands up and we just see the crack open up on the wall behind him. So good. I think this is such an amazing twist. Like, who expected the crack to show up in such a major way in this episode? Completely unexpected. How do you feel about this?
Oh, I love this. Like, I don't really remember my reaction the first time I watched this, but I know I wasn't expecting the crack at all, because it was one of those things that, like, I thought it would just be little Easter eggs and snippets here and there, because we saw a little crack in The Beast Below and then Victory of the Daleks. But to, like, get it here at the forefront in the middle of the season, totally unexpected. Such a good twist. It brings everything up, like, tenfold, and it's so... The crack in time and space always fascinates me. Like, I actually... That's one of my favorite concepts. Like, I find it so fascinating. And I love how Angel Bob just says, the doctor in the TARDIS hasn't noticed. Just taunting 11 about it.
No, I love that. And I love anytime we kind of make progress or check back in with our series arc in the middle of the series, and we're not just like waiting for everything to kick off at the very end. Like, we're slowly building it, and we're like learning more along the way, which I think is really surprising here. It makes it really interesting.
Definitely. It keeps it from being stale, because we weren't expecting it.
It's better than us just, like, again seeing like a crack on a wall, like at the end of this episode or something like that,
or just like the same woman in every episode.
2 seasons in a row.
2 seasons in a row, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but this is the episode where we find out kind of what the crack is. It's besides it just being a crack in space and time, it is leaking all of this time energy, and it's the fire at the end of the universe. And so whoever gets caught in that and like drawn in that gets erased. And 11 says, time can be unwritten, which him saying that after time can be rewritten being a thing before this, it just, there's something about it.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. I don't want to jump ahead too much. I think the conversations with Angel Bob and the doctor are really funny. The comfy chairs bit, love that. And then he says, Angel Bob, how's life? Ooh, sorry, bad subject. Very funny.
Very, very funny. Yeah, the dynamic between 11 and Angel Bob is really great. I really like Angel Bob.
Yeah. Great
Bob.
voice acting from that actor.
Yeah, I was actually about to say the same thing. Really great. And, you know, then the angels, they all get up in there. And
everyone
11
leaves,
is like,
and then the angels show up.
Yeah, everyone leaves except 11. And so everyone's like running into the forest that they discover in this ship, which I find really cool actually, that there's a forest in the middle of a ship.
It's an oxygen factory. So cool.
Yeah, so cool. And River is just telling everyone, like, wait for my man. Sorry if that was a spoiler. But she's like, wait for him. And she tells Father Octavian, your one and only mission is to keep him alive long enough to get everyone else home. And trust me, it's not easy. Now, if he's dead back there, I'll never forgive myself. And if he's alive, I'll never forgive him.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, perfect. You're behind me, aren't you?
Classic you're behind me trope.
Yeah, I love it. It's them. Yeah. It's so funny. We kind of see that kind of thing between them continue where because isn't she saying like Forest of the Dead, like if he's alive I'll kill him?
Probably. Oh, and I think there is a scene in that too where she's talking about him and then the 10th Doctor's behind her or something. Oh yeah, he has that like spoilers, you can't open the TARDIS doors with snapping your fingers. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I did want to mention right before this, when the angels get in the ship, he loses his coat because he's able to slip out of it.
Yes, very important detail. Yeah. He slips out of his coat. It's such a random detail, but I actually really like that moment where the angels like grip him and he like gets out of his coat. How does he get that coat back? Does he get that coat back?
He does not get that specific coat back. But I guess he just has like extra coats in the TARDIS, which makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I feel like, he stole that outfit and then the TARDIS was like, okay, I'll make some backups or something.
Yeah.
But going back to the scene with River, we get another I hate you, you don't moment, which is great. That's just their love language right there.
No, it really is. And right around this time is like when it's confirmed, like we find out like Amy has an angel in her mind and she has to keep her eyes closed in a forest full of weeping angels.
Well, she like collapses or something and
she does.
They're like, oh, what's going on? And River's like, oh, you're fine. Everything's okay. And then the doctor's like, well, no, River says, nothing, you're fine. And then the doctor says, everything, you're dying. Always makes me laugh.
Me too. And River's like, why are you telling her that? And he's like, I'm not going to lie to her when she's literally dying. Something I did want to know, this is the annoying medical nerd in me. On the little like heart rate reader that River is holding, when she's like panicking about Amy dying, her heart rate is still normal. So they didn't adjust it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I love how much River's looking out for Amy in this episode. There's another moment where she's like, Amy, what's wrong? Like she grabs her and like, so I just think it's very nice how much she's looking out for her. It's a fun thing to look back on.
It definitely is.
Oh, and we also get Amy telling the doctor she's scared, and him saying, "Of course you're scared. You're dying. Shut up."
Yeah, and then 11 tells her, like, River, and Father Octavian have to go off and, like, figure out, like, how they're getting out of this. And, they leave the rest of the clerics behind to protect Amy. But then, kind of, like, 30 seconds passes, and the doctor comes back and just basically tells her, like, you have to believe in yourself. No, like, hello, have I seen this show? Yes, I have. I'm misspeaking. No, he was talking about how she needs to have faith in him, and she needs to just remember. And she's like, remember what? And spoiler, if you don't want a spoiler that I'm going to mention.
Yeah, skip ahead a little bit.
Skip ahead probably like 3 or 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch on that this was a different version of 11? Because I did not.
Absolutely not. I don't think I even noticed that he was like had his coat back. That's how good I am at paying attention.
Me either.
But I love this twist, and I love the reveal later on. Such good writing, such a great moment. I guess people thought this was like a real continuity error back in the day, which I think is really funny.
That's so funny.
So I'm sure it was very satisfying for Steven when the finale aired, and he was like, see, we didn't make a mistake. It was on purpose.
Yeah, I love this scene so much. Yeah. I can't wait until we're talking about it in the finale. But we're here. We're here in episode 5.
But yeah, no, I love that reveal, and it's very timey-wimey, and I love when Moffat does that.
Same. Now, I just have a question about the Weeping Angels here. So, is it just me, or do the angels literally outnumber everyone? Because I was watching this episode, and I'm like, why aren't the angels, like one of the Weeping Angels, just going one by one behind someone and then snapping their necks? Like, why aren't they doing that? Why are they ripping apart the trees?
They all should have died so many times in this episode. It's a little ridiculous. But yeah, and then the angels are in Amy's head, and what are they even doing? Killing her? Oh no, are they trying to become an angel? They're trying to turn her into an angel? What are they doing?
I think they're trying to take her, basically. So they're basically doing what they did. I think they're just like trying to take her and then either turn her into an angel or just like kill her completely. Basically, they're doing it to taunt the doctor. Right. They're doing it for fun. But yeah, it's confusing because she has like her eyes closed for basically this whole episode. And then the doctor, as things are getting crazier, the doctor tells her to like walk towards him with her eyes closed. And like the angels, because they're scared, they're not going to catch on to the fact that your eyes aren't open. And my question is, wouldn't they have already known her eyes were closed and why they were?
Yeah, this is this is where the episode goes too far. Like, I'm sorry.
I agree.
You're telling me they don't know her eyes are closed? It's not like she's walking that well. No offense, Amy. We know your eyes are closed.
It's a little obvious.
Like they're writing I'm having a stroke. Oh my gosh. He wrote it in a way that just made it like too convenient, in a way that it doesn't really work. Like, we're being a little nitpicky. Like, usually I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, sure, but it's just it does take you out of it a bit. Like, they should they're the angels. This is their whole thing. It just doesn't make sense that they don't know that her eyes are closed.
I completely agree. And then it also doesn't make... Sorry, this is another nitpick. But it also doesn't make sense because before the clerics all disappear into the Kraken time, they're all looking at the light. And Amy's just like me. She's like, I need to see what this light is. I need to like see with my own eyes, which would be me. But she like opens her eyes. And before this, she was told, like, you can't even open your eyes for a second. Girl, her eyes are open for so long.
For more than a second, and then she opens her eyes for like 45 seconds and doesn't.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly. Exactly.
No, that also really bugs me. I think her reaction, that despite the like, okay, shouldn't you be dead right now? I think her reaction is really great. Her just being like so frightened by this crack from her bedroom wall following her all the way out here. I think that is a really interesting idea. And Karen Gillan sells that fear and panic really well. Like, that would be terrifying. And of course, like, the things from our childhood coming back to haunt us, like the thing you were scared of when you were a kid, always still kind of sends shivers down your spine as an adult. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that was just great performance from her. And yeah, this scene is crazy with all the clerics like going in, and then
Yeah.
they forget each other, and we find out they're basically getting erased from time, which I'm sure that won't come up again later this series at all.
No. No, it
No,
won't.
no,
No.
definitely won't cause any traumatic moments at all.
Not at all. I was watching this episode today and I was like, wait a second. I did not remember Father Octavian getting snatched by an angel. For some reason, I thought he disappeared in the crack in space and time.
Oh, interesting. Um, yeah, I guess I did remember. I that's a good scene too, because the doctor's like
Mm-hmm.
figuring out the crack. Like, he's so consumed by the crack being here, like his mind is running a mile a minute. He's trying to think of all these things, and he's like, there's way worse things here than the angels." And then immediately the angel comes and like grabs Father Octavian, and he's like, I don't know
Yeah.
about that, my man. And despite being like kind of ops throughout this two-parter, they have a really nice moment here. And Father Octavian insists that the doctor leaves him, like there's no way out, he's dead. And he has this moment where he kind of explains what the deal with River is a little bit.
Yeah. He basically tells Eleven that River killed a man and that 11 can't trust her. And then him and 11 kind of have this conversation where like 11's like, come on, you can wriggle your way out. And Father Octavian is like, I can't. And he barely moves. But yeah, there's just kind of this moment where like Father Octavian, he accepts his fate. He accepts this is his time. And I forget what he says about like his courage. Did you write that down?
No, I don't have the line about his courage, but I do like, he says something, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I do like the doctor saying, I wish I knew you better. And then the bishop says, I
Mm-hmm.
think you knew me at my best, which I think is a nice moment between them. And it's
Yeah.
nice that they can have this moment of mutual respect right at the end.
Yeah, definitely. And then 11 he catches up to River and he just is like Father Octavian is dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like that must be really like confusing for River because I think she really did enjoy the company of Father Octavian and the clerics. And I think that even though like he was basically her armed guard, she did respect him.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there was a small part of her that ever thought that, oh, maybe she would be able to be like freed because of it.
Yeah, I think so, because she even says at the end, she's like, oh, maybe I'll get a pardon this time, which we
Oh,
know
that's right.
doesn't happen until later for reasons, but
Spoilers.
spoilers. Yeah, this is a really interesting scene here on the ship. We get a lot of moments of like the doctor getting he's very stressed for multiple
Yeah.
reasons, and he yells at River quite a bit. Like, he is
Mm-hmm.
the first part, he's telling Amy she has to walk with her eyes closed as if her eyes are open, which we already talked about how kind of ridiculous that is. And River's the only person brave enough to say what we're all thinking. Hey, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm gonna work on this teleport. And 11's like, that teleport is broken. It's not even gonna work. Don't even try. And
Yeah.
he gets like, he's big mad, like you said, and like
Mm-hmm.
yells at River and like tells Amy that if the time energy catches up to her, that she'll have never been born, and it will erase every moment of her existence, and she will never have lived at all. So we definitely know why he's very upset and like frantic, but sir, you did not have to yell at my girl River like that.
Yeah. I feel like River often gets like the brunt of his like anger,
Yeah,
which makes me sad for River. Like,
me too.
that's my girl. She doesn't deserve that. But this is
No, I
like
agree. I
early.
feel like
I'm not. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
no, I'm interrupting you. But I was going to say that like I feel like in the early days specifically is when a lot of like Eleven's anger and
Mhm.
frustration is geared towards River. I feel like once he figures out and like finds out who she is and knows the backstory, that's when like it gets a lot better in that regard.
I agree. I think he has a hard time in these early days because when all he really knows about her is she's his future, which I think scares him, and also
Mm-hmm.
she died. Like she's already dead to
Yeah.
him. Which I think that's scary, knowing that you kind of will end up falling in love with someone who you've already
Yeah.
seen die. So I think he tries to put up walls, and as we'll see as we keep going along with the story, those walls do come down, and he can't help, having the feelings that he has for her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what makes this relationship so interesting to watch. It's so
Yeah.
layered and multifaceted and amazing.
Completely agree.
But then there's another moment where he's like, the only way to close a crack is to feed it like some big complex time thing. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, what? And he's like, like me, for instance, which is kind of one of my vocal stems. I don't know why, but I just always think about the way he says that line.
That's
um,
funny.
oh, I like the one part about Amy walking through the forest that I like is when the angels do catch up to her. Well, I like two things. I like seeing them move. I know people don't like that, but I do
Okay, I
like
was
it.
gonna ask. I was gonna ask because it's a very like controversial Weeping
Hmm.
Angels lore point in the show.
Yeah, I'm not a pro. I don't have a problem with it. I like the
Same.
sound too of them moving, and I think it looks creepy and cool, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. But what do you think?
Oh, I'm completely with you. I have always loved it because it's so creepy and it makes sense in that scene because Amy's eyes are closed. So, of course, we're going to see them move. And the way it was done very well. And like in the future, when they come back, at least in like Moffat's tenure, like I don't remember seeing them move like when they come back
No.
in like 2 seasons. Very freaky. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Another part about Amy walking through the forest that I like is when the angels catch up to her and the way they look at her. Like one of the angels is like this, and only the
Yeah.
YouTube people will know what I'm doing. But just the way the angel is looking at her, they're like trying to see if she can see. And
Yeah.
it's very, very spooky. It's a really great shot from this episode.
Oh, it's such a good shot. And just like the shot of the angels closing in on Amy about to snatch her. And then right as they're about to snatch her is when River gets his teleport working. Like that shot is so good.
And they said it couldn't be done.
And River was like, you haven't met me.
Hmm. I love the doctor saying, River Song, I could bloody kiss you. And River says, well, maybe when you're older. Very funny.
Yeah. And then we finally meet Angel Bob, who basically strolls up to 10. Sorry.
5 episodes in, we're still saying 10.
11. He's like, 11, throw yourself into the crack in the universe and you'll save us and your friends. You'll have never have existed, but like, you'll save us. And then
Hmm.
River's like, no, use me. And 11 is like, no, actually, get a grip, River. What
Yeah.
she gets really offended by, but then he's like, no, literally, like, you and Amy, get a grip.
Yeah. I do love this moment of River again wanting to just throw herself in, which very
Yeah.
consistent with the version of her that we meet at the library. It's a little painful to think about. It's like, River, stop doing this. But
Agreed.
yeah, I love the doctor saying, compared to you, like, these angels are more complex time thing than you are, but he also doesn't really know all the tea yet, so it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. And yeah, I do like that this moment, like, get a grip. Get a grip. That is really fun. And then yeah, all the angels get taken away by the crack. Okay, I watched this the other day and then I watched it right now. Does Amy have her eyes open during this time, or are they still closed?
I think they're closed, and I say that because at the end of this episode, she's like, I'm bruised all over, and 11 is like, well, you didn't have to climb out with your eyes closed. Like, the angels were all gone. So
That's
I would
another nitpick I have. Like, he's like, I told you you didn't have to do that. Then why was she doing that?
girl, trauma response.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, because, like, if you think about it from her POV, like, yeah, the angels got. Sorry, I was about to use a ghost term. Fucking knows exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly what you were gonna say.
Okay. In any other context, I wouldn't normally say this. If you've watched the show Ghosts, UK or US, it doesn't matter. You'll know the term sucked off is used a lot. But when the angels get sorry. Okay, when the angels go away, when they disappear.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're children tonight. Sorry, everyone listening.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what's going on, we don't even know.
We're just in like a silly mood. It's been an interesting day.
Yes, it has. But you know, Amy remembers all of this, and yeah, they're gone, but like she remembers it. She remembers it being in her mind. And I could see like that being a very real trauma response, is that like she wants to open her eyes, but like the last time she opened her eyes, like it was almost game over for her.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I can understand her perspective in that moment, at least.
Yeah. But yeah, they get sucked into the rift, and then they're on the beach. I like this explanation that he gives her. She's like, well, why can I remember the clerics? Whatever. And he's like, you're a time traveler now. It changes the way you see the universe, which I think is such a great line. And it also adds like really interesting context to all the companions. Like, they've all gone through this and they will all see the universe in different ways, which is just interesting to think about. And it's a perfect way to like answer, I don't want to say plot holes, but like sometimes maybe plot holes, or just like give a reason to why companions know or see or do certain things, because being a time traveler, it does change your brain chemistry in a way, and you know, you're going to perceive things differently than other people do. Like, the only reason she remembers the clerics is because she is a time traveler, which I think is just really interesting.
It is, and it's like Martha is one of the only people who remembers the year that never happened because she was a time traveler. Like, Donna remembering just small bits and pieces from the Turn Left universe because she's a time traveler. So
right,
it's really like pulling it all together throughout showrunners. I really like that line.
Oh my gosh, something we didn't talk about, speaking of like,
wait, what?
Showrunners, is when the doctor's he's thinking about the crack, he has this moment where, like,
oh yeah,
a duck pound, we found any ducks, Amy doesn't remember the Daleks, and then he realizes like this is a crack in the universe, and he brings up the next Doctor. Like, people don't remember a giant Cyberman over London. And I think that's why I love Stephen Moffat so much. He didn't have to write in that line. Like, no one was like, maybe people were back in 2010 or whatever, but no one is like, when are they going to explain the next Doctor? Like, why does no one bring up the Cybermen in Victorian England? But he wrote that in anyways, and it's a great continuity, and he didn't have to fix that. Like, That's not an episode he wrote. He wasn't showrunner for that, but he wrote it in anyways, and it's very seamless. And like every time the Doctor says it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like next Doctor reference, like this is crazy. I just really like that mention.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because that is a really important mention. The seamless like mention of all of that is so great. Do you know what is also great, but also a line that haunts me?
What?
You, me, handcuffs. Must it always end this way?
Yeah, that kills me.
Moffat, you knew what you were doing.
You knew what you were doing. And like River doesn't even know what she's saying right now.
No.
But, yeah. This is such a great scene between them on the beach. He says, you know, what's next, and she explains the prison ship is above. Gonna take her any minute. Maybe she can get a part in this time. She said, oh, and then she teases that the next time he'll see her is when the Pandorica opens. And I love his reaction to this, just his little laugh and then whispering, that's a fairy tale.
And she just says, aren't we all?
Such a good line.
This is what, okay, we talked about this, I think in the 11th hour or Beast Below, one of those, about like our opinions on Moffat and like his fairy tale storyline. And this line is another example of why I love it in this context so much, is because it, even though there is that fantastical aspect, it's so grounded.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's fun for them to kind of play with this fairy tale aspect. Like, these are fairy tale-esque characters going through fairy tale-like scenarios, and it's just really, I just love River saying that. It's so interesting to me. And then he says, can I trust you, River Song? And I just love her response is, hey, you can if you'd like, but what's the fun in that? Like, she's not worried. She knows, like, everything's gonna work out between them eventually, and she's just having a little bit of fun with it, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah, and he can't. He's nervous. He doesn't want to trust her, which I think I like, but I'm also like, you think you would trust someone that you saw die for you, but okay.
No, actually, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I guess he has trust issues, which, fair enough.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then she gets beamed up, and Amy asks 11 what he's thinking, because he's just standing there with this light smile on his face. And he just says, time can be rewritten. We all know what he's thinking of. We all know that he's trying to formulate in his mind how to save River.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly how I think about this too. I think this is such an interesting line, and like an interesting comparison from the library two-parter. I think in the library two-parter, 10 says that when River's about to die, and he's saying it in a way where it's like, we can stop this, we like, time can be rewritten, and we'll never meet, and you'll never end up here, and you'll never die. And she says, that's why she says, don't you dare, not one line. But the way he says it here is more in a way of like, maybe that doesn't have to happen. Maybe this doesn't have to end. Maybe she doesn't have to go to the library, which I think is something that continues throughout their relationship. He knows the end, and he delays the ending for a very long time. So I just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing that just the same exact line said by the same character can mean two different things in two different episodes, and it's one of my favorite parts of this episode.
No, you're so right about that.
And then the episode ends, right?
Yeah, then they're off, and the next thing we know, we're picking up Rory to go to Venice.
Yeah, stag party, woo, let's go.
Woo. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just okay. So Amy spills the tea. She's getting married in the morning to Rory, aka the other one, not the good-looking one that 11 refers to, which is Jeff.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeff.
Shout out, Jeff. Okay. Honestly, this episode should have ended right after she told him she was running away.
Yeah.
From her wedding.
Yeah. This is one of the worst things that the show has ever done.
Which says a lot because it says that a lot. Okay, so, here's the thing. Is that, like, part of me / most of me really feels like this was more of a writing issue and choice than it is a character flaw or character issue. And I think it's because I'm choosing to see it that way because I just cannot accept that, like, this was ever an okay thing.
Yeah, I think the way it's written, and Stephen Moffat has even said this in more recent years, like he wishes he could change this and he doesn't like that it was written for laughs, but yeah, it's so icky. And from a character standpoint, I think Amy just survived something very traumatic. She almost died. And I think ever since the Doctor came back into her life in the 11th hour, she's been just a little lost, a little confused. Like she thought she had everything going and she had worry, and then, he disappears again and they're going to get married. And then he turns up the night before her wedding. Like that is going to screw up anyone. Like she has been waiting for him for so long, and then he finally shows up the night before her wedding. Like that's going to mess with anyone's mind. Anyone's going to take that as some kind of like weird sign from the universe. So I think that is just going to confuse her, and she's also traumatized, and she's not quite sure. Like there's so much more to come with Amy and Rory's relationship. Like she's not confident in it yet. Like she even had that moment back in The Beast Below where she's like, oh, I wonder what I'm gonna do in the morning when I get married. But yeah, the way it's written with her just like, being so pushy, and she keeps kissing him and keeps touching him. It's just, it's so gross and I hate it.
Yeah, like her being in the confused headspace, that's not where my problem lies. Like you said, like literally in any other context, like think of this like a movie, not Doctor Who, not part of the Doctor Who universe. Think of it as a movie. This man pops in and out of your life. He's dreamy. And then he pops up the night before your wedding. So, of course, you're going to go out, like, exploring the stars with him. You're going to be confused. You're going to feel, like, conflicting things. My problem is more with, like, the pushiness and her just, like, not stopping. That's where my issue is. And that's where I just choose to be like, I just choose to discard that. And not everyone is going to feel that way. I know there's people who this really soured Amy's character for them, and that's completely valid. I think we all like view these sort of things really differently. I think it would be different if this was something that like continuously happened. Like she continued to like try to kiss him, but she doesn't really after the scene. Yeah, thank goodness.
The show and characters definitely try to forget about this scene going forward. Like it's kind of talked about next week, but also kind of brushed over. Yeah, we'll just try to like move on and forget this happened. And this scene is also why, okay, skip ahead a few minutes if you haven't seen everything. Just skip ahead a little bit. This scene is one of the reasons why I say I don't think Moffat had everything planned with River, because I think if he knew who River was, I can't imagine he would have written this, because that's just crazy.
See, I kind of feel the same. Like when I was watching the episode, I was like, it's not that like he didn't know who River would be. I think he had it in his mind. I think he was still trying to decide. I think if it had been decided by this episode, we would have seen like a little bit more clue just on River alone and how she interacts with Amy. Like I feel like there would have been something there if it was planned at this point.
I agree. And I think you can pick up on the relationship through subtext and watching it back. Like I said, just the way River looks out for Amy. She's very attentive to her. She's always looking out for her. She's like, you're going to be okay. But I think that might just be a case of really good luck rather
Yeah.
than something that was planned.
I agree with that. When you think about it, it's
It's bad.
his mother-in-law. His
Yeah.
mother-in-law.
It's really bad. And
It's really bad.
Yeah.
We're never going to talk about it after it's mentioned next week slightly. Can we make an agreement that we're just not going to bring this up?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we probably will.
Brought up maybe like one more time. But yeah. We also get an age mention here. Very important. The doctor is 907.
You're right. We need to clock this.
Yeah, clocked.
Clocked. We also learn Amy's wedding date is the base code of the universe, and all of the drama with the crack in space and time has something to do with her, something to do with this date. Mm-hmm. Or so the doctor thinks.
Yeah. See, this is the doctor is saying like, it's all about you. The universe is revolving around you. And then Amy being like, hold that thought. Like, that's where I'm like, you can't even get too upset with her, because it's like, imagine someone saying that. Like, imagine someone telling you
that is true,
that the universe revolves around you. Like, that's gonna go to your head a little bit, especially if you're Amy.
Yeah. Okay. Which leads me. Okay. So we're going to be talking about a deleted scene from the end of this episode, or is it an extra?
It's a mini-sode. It's
mini-sode.
There's a few mini-sodes we've already missed, but I think eventually we'll do an episode about like all the mini-sodes. And we won't always talk about the mini-sodes, but I really wanted to talk about this one. So
yeah,
it's called Meanwhile in the TARDIS 2. We'll put a link in the episode notes, but it's on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And it takes place right after this, and it is very fun.
It is. And so in this deleted scene, Amy calls out the doctor for his mixed signals. And to Amy's credit, I will say he does give mixed signals. Like, literally in any other context, I would be like, oh my gosh, this man is like really interested in me. Like, if I did not know he was the doctor and who the doctor was, I would be like, this is nice.
Yeah.
The doctor notoriously sends the wrong signals. Notoriously.
Yeah. I mean, look
Case in point, Smith and Jones.
Yes, exactly. So you can't blame her too much. I also love how this mini-sode just calls out the doctor for being a little bit of a womanizer.
Yeah.
There's a line, I thought it was in this the Flesh and Stone, and then I was like, oh, it's in the mini-sode. But I mentioned this in The Beast Below, that Amy has like a line about the nightgown, which I found really gross and didn't like. But it's in this mini-sode. She says like, and then you picked me up wearing my nightie that you didn't let me change out of for ages, which is a line that I just think is gross and I don't like. And
agreed.
Not sours anything, but it's like,
yeah. And Amy and Eleven, like in the rest of this mini-sode, bicker about whether he's like all the other blokes out there, or if he's like someone truly different. His argument is like, he's like, no, I'm different. I'm not like a bloke. And Amy is just like, every room you walk into, you laugh at all the men and show off to all the girls. And true.
So I love that's this. It's crazy because this mini-sode really shows like how well Stephen Moffat is at writing the doctor. Like, he picks up on things that have never even really been explicitly mentioned before, but once you hear that line, you're like, that's so true. That is what he does. Like, case in point, Rose and Mickey, constantly putting down Mickey, constantly making fun of him, and then like Rose is this like perfect angel that he like shows off to and flirts with, is like obsessed with, and Mickey's like her idiot boyfriend.
So true.
Yeah.
And then Amy tricks the doctor into voice activating pictures of his female companion. Mind you, he has had some male companions, but I find it really interesting. The TARDIS only showed Amy the female companions. She's a girl's girl.
Line. He's like, "Oh, you had you left out the tin dog, huh?"
Yeah.
No, I love this. Love the TARDIS calling him out. I love the conversation right before this too. He's like, where Amy's like, "How many of them have been women?" And he's like, "Oh, like you know, like maybe slightly more than half." And then she's like, "Well, how many have been hot?" And he's like, "No, none of them, none at all." And then he's like, "Well, maybe one or two."
Yeah. Then he's like says the line about like mates, and then he's like, actually never mates, and we know that's because of Donna Noble.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, not mates, forget mates." Yeah,
Yeah.
flashback.
Okay, so something I noticed, because I was like, I'm going to be really annoying and like pause every half second to see all of the pictures that pop up. There's 2 different pictures of Billy that pop up.
Yes, there are, which I very appreciated. And then I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I was trying to remember like what episode does Rose wear this hat in? It's New Earth at the very beginning.
Yeah, the very beginning when she's being sent off by Jackie and Mickey.
Yeah. And then the other photo of her is
Tooth and Claw?
No, it's
Oh, sorry, Girl in the Fireplace.
Girl in the Fireplace. Yeah, that one. I don't know why I like knew what it was, but my brain just couldn't say the words for some reason.
So valid. Also, there's Martha, there's Donna, there's Sarah Jane, there's the other companions.
The other ones, yeah, a bunch of classic ones.
Yeah.
Where we'll get to it. We'll meet them eventually. I'm not going to name everyone because
there's
will
make a lot.
Mistakes, and that will just be embarrassing.
Agreed.
Yeah, but very fun. And then off they go to Warriors Stag Night.
Rory Williams. I'm so excited to talk about him next week. But in saying that, we did want to mention that next week, Vampires in Venice, or is it of Venice?
We'll find out.
Next week's episode, though, will be our last episode before we go on a break until the new year.
Yes, and then we will be back January 7th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we have any reviews? Oh, star of the show.
Yeah, star of the show. So, Rebecca, who's the star of the show?
That's such a great question. The star of the show is...
It can't be River, Amy, or 11. We need to start not including them in these.
So true. The star of the show is the guy that voices Angel Bob. Like,
agreed.
I think he just did a really good, like, monotone performance that's also, like, kind of scary, kind of funny at points. So, shout out to that man.
Shout out to you, King. You're great.
Yeah. Who's your star of the show?
I was going to say Angel Bob. He's my star of the show.
So, what is the heart of the episode?
Don't blink.
So true.
Do you have one better than that?
Just don't. Just be better. Don't. Be careful if you're writing a show. Be careful which characters you let kiss and kind of have a romantic undertones with, because that might bite you in the butt later on and you might regret it.
Agreed.
Do we have any reviews from the past?
Yes, we sure do. So they are all from IMDb. We have a couple for this week's episode, if I can speak. So the first one was written by the user Rachel on May 9th, 2010. And she wrote saying that it was great to see Matt Smith fully taking ownership of his doctor, with the doctor's new personality and quirks beginning to surface in this episode. The backstory, or is it the front story, for Rover Song was really good. I can't wait to see the next instance of that when the Pandorica opens. Genuinely scary, particularly the moment where you see the weeping angels actually move because Amy can't open her eyes. The episode Blink was similarly scary, which is what Doctor Who has always been about. I tend to really enjoy Stephen Moffat's episodes, and this was another great example.
It's so interesting how they said, like, this is where Matt really comes into the Doctor, considering this is his first
Yeah.
episode. Like,
Yeah.
and I think they're right. Like, you wouldn't, I wouldn't think this was his first episode, if I didn't know it. Like, it's seamless here. And yeah,
Agree.
he's a great Doctor. Never misses, to be honest.
Completely agree.
And I like that they also appreciate the angels moving.
Me too. This next review is by the user John-2, and he wrote on May 5th, 2010. Quite a lengthy review, but I'm going to read like just a snippet of it. He writes saying that the new Doctor is, in short, manic depressive with the odd bout of compassion. Matt Smith is therefore rarely in danger of overacting. He pulls it off well, but there are times when I just wish the Doctor would calm down and think about a decision for at least 10 seconds before making it.
Well, then he wouldn't be the Doctor, would he?
Exactly. Amy comes across as a good mixture of feisty and yet fearful. She joins in the banter and hasn't let out any spine-chilling screams yet, so if or when she does, I think they'll be very powerful. Terry Pratchett recently described the science in Doctor Who episodes as paper thin and regretted that it was classified as science fiction. I would prefer to see less wildly implausible scientific events in Doctor Who, but all in all, not bad at all.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about this today. Like, obviously Doctor Who is sci-fi, but it's not sci-fi in the way that you imagine sci-fi.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And this last review, I'm going to be reading, was written on July 19th, 2021, but it was written by the user The True Fan. They ranked this episode 8 out of 10, and the title of their review is Laying Down the Hard Truth. This episode of Doctor Who does not feature Mike Skinner, either in person or via audio format, thus making it an 8 out of 10. To which I was like, who the heck is Mike Skinner?
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of a fantastic fact. So Mike Skinner is the guy at the very beginning of The Time of Angels who River kisses with hallucinogenic lipstick. And Mike Skinner is in a band called The Streets. And Adam Smith, who directed this episode, directed The Streets, some of their music videos. And so he called Mike Skinner and was like, do you want to be in this episode? But yeah, this review is really upset that he didn't continue to be this two-parter, which is just really funny.
That is really funny. Like, they must be so upset. Like, he was really only in, like, what, the first shot, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then I have a bonus review, which if this is cut out, that's fine. This bonus review I have is by the user home-87474, written on July 27th, 2025. And they write by saying, I don't know why these people get paid. They're just natural hacks. I would kick them all out in disgrace so that they would never return to the profession. Not only is the plot just the stupidest, but they simply don't try to explain the logic of events to us. But why? The stupid viewer is already grabbing. The Doctor has become some kind of uncontrollable psychopath with outbursts of rage, constantly abandoning his companion to the mercy of fate. Why do you need it at all? By this episode, Karen had abruptly forgotten how to play. It seems that she, like me, has become frankly bored here, and if the audience is bored, it's a failure. For example, the Doctor tells Amy, don't open your eyes for more than a second, but then she opens them for about 10 seconds and nothing happens. The military is generally some kind of morons. They were ordered to protect Amy, but they're like complete idiots, unfamiliar with discipline one by one. They leave. What the heck? And who leaves them without a commander? What were you smoking there? Anyone who is more or less familiar with a weapon does not hold it like that. They put their finger on the trigger only at the moment of the shot. And how? Excuse me, can a stone angel attack a trained military man? Well, how? Are they ninjas? After all, we have never been shown that they can move more or less fast. Dang, why couldn't Amy be teleported right away? What's going on anyway? Very bad, frankly bad. Stephen Moffat, please don't write anymore. Everything is bad. The plot, the acting, the lack of logic. Not funny, not scary, not interesting.
And we thought we were nitpicking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
should I leave this in the edit?
You should. It's
okay.
It's so funny. You have to. This is what I think of. This is the person I think of when I think of like annoying Doctor Who fans who just like
Agreed.
don't even like the show, because y'all will really just complain about anything.
Are they ninjas? Sir, have you not seen the show before? Sometimes things happen.
Yeah, and like I think it was established that they like
agreed.
Link. And I think everyone's acting great. I think Karen's acting great. I think the Doctor is very consistent with who we've known the Doctor to become. Did you not watch The Dalek?
So true.
Yeah. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back next week with Vampires in Venice?
Of Venice? We'll find out.
I think it's Vampires in Venice.
I think so too.
Yeah. But until then, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at TimeyWimeyPod.
And email us anything and everything to timeywimeypod@gmail.com. And we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.